Hello. This is Stella Parton. Welcome to the Funhouse Church. Trying to keep my eyes open. The lights in here are so bright, and I've had LASIK surgery because I needed to be able to see. But now the lights are so bright, I keep my eyes squinted most of the time anyway because I'm kind of shy on camera. Even after 50 years of being on camera, I still get a little shy once in a while. You may be able to hear a lawnmower out there. I hear somebody out on the lawn mowing the yard. They do that every week when we get ready to do Funhouse Church, but we just work on through it. I tell you, this week was a trying week for me. On Monday, here in Nashville on Channel 4, they showed a video of an interview that they did with me last week about the police assault that I reported. I did not sue the Nashville Metro Police Department, but I did ask for them to be investigated because of their excessive force and their assault of me. Of course, they denied it, and that's how things go. And I want to clarify that I feel like if we don't speak out when things are unjust, and when we're being abused ourselves, or when we feel like we're being abused, then we're allowing other people to have rule over us. And we're not supposed to do that ever. We're always supposed to speak out. And I didn't always know that. I've always kind of kept silent, partially because of who I am, because of the family I'm from, because of my sister. I don't want to bring any negative attention to myself, but you know, as the years have gone by, I realized that I have as much right to speak for myself and out about things as anyone else. And I was just reading this week about how one of the religions, the Muslim religion, they're still practicing female genital mutilation. And it's so disheartening to me that these things could still be going on in America, not just the Middle East, but right here in America. And I think it's high time that we speak out against racial injustice, against religious persecution, and against anything where God's people, we're all God's people, when any group or any gender, any race, any socio-economic group of people are being mistreated by other people, that is against the law. And it's also should be against the law, but it's against God's law. And I want to talk about that more, and I'm going to talk about it more. I know it doesn't make me look pretty, and it doesn't make me look nice and all that, but I'm going to do it anyway because the scripture backs it up, and because it's the right thing to do. So I thought I'd bring that up to you today, and you can go look it up on Google if you want to, about this horrific crime that is being committed against women every day. Just like we see the police brutality going on in our country every day, here in America, but across the world. They're talking about it in other countries as well. We cannot stay silent. I have scripture that I want to read that will be part of that. So I want to turn in the scripture over here in the King James Version Bible. And this is in 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 22, 23, and 24. It says, "Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm." We're prophets when we bring the truth and when we bring the good news to other people. So we're prophesying. "Sing unto the Lord all the earth, shew forth from day to day his salvation. Declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations." Now that is something that we really need to think about, because you know, the scripture will back up whatever it is that we have to deal with. And we have a lot we're dealing with today. You know, we're fortunate right now that we still have food to eat and a roof over our heads, and that we're not suffering from the coronavirus and all these things. And sometimes you have to wonder, I wonder, Why am I talking here on the Funhouse Church? I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now. I lost count, I don't remember. I started doing it because of people being persecuted, because of the homosexuals being persecuted, and people asking me on my Facebook page, which I no longer have because of the complicit way that they are handling things on Facebook. I no longer am on Facebook. But people were asking me, did I agree with that? And I have to tell you, it's not my job to judge anyone. We're all God's babies. And I hope that most people that see me and hear me talking will understand that none of us are the judge. God is the judge. We're all God's babies. And God makes us all unique in his own way. And who are you or me or anyone else to judge another human being? We do not have that right. We're born to do what is right in the sight of God. Over here in Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, Mordecai, her uncle, was saying to Esther, Queen Esther, because she was born for such a time as this. And, you know, her purpose was to save her people, God's people. And Mordecai was saying to her, you can't be silent now, you have to speak. And so she decided to speak. And it says here in verse 14, for if thou holdest thy peace at this time, then shall there enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews for another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? So in other words, he was telling her, how do you know that God didn't bring you into the kingdom for such a time as this? So we have to understand that our purpose may not always be understood by us. It may be uncomfortable, as it is for me to be speaking out now as I do on my podcast and as I'm doing here on Funhouse. And I try to keep it real gentle and real calm and not be judgmental. But I'd like to know what some of the evangelicals think about this female genital mutilation of women right here in this country. They can talk about homosexuals and saying that is not of God and all these things. Franklin Graham just got up on Twitter last week and said that, and was saying that was, he was criticizing the LGBTQ law about people being able to work. And I was stunned that he had the gall to get up and say something like that. That is not of God. That is a religious thing, but it's not a spiritual thing. There's no love in that. We can't justify behavior of such sort. We have to do what God says for us to do, and that is to love one another as I have loved you. Jesus said it. I said it last week on our Funhouse. Love one another as I have loved you. If there was enough love going around, there wouldn't be all this abuse that's going around, all this hate and all this, hate mongering that we hear on talk shows and all these things that are being said. I'm very heartsick by it, and I'm not going to be quiet anymore. You may not like it, and if you don't want to tune in to Funhouse Church anymore, that's all right. But sometimes I'm going to have to be a little more stern about things because I'm very hurt, very upset, and very sad that some things can go like they are going right now. And that all being said, I'm going to put the Bible down and I'm going to try to sing a song that I just thought of, because usually I just pick a song that's random, and maybe you'll like this one. Let me see if I can put this down over there. Thank you. I learned this song when I was a kid. I don't know how well it'll go, but let's see. Life is like a mountain railroad with an engineer that's brave. We must make this run successful from the cradle to the grave. Watch the curves that fill the tunnel, never falter and never fail. Keep your hand upon the throttle Savior, thou wilt guide us till we reach that blissful shore, where the angels, they wait to join us in thy praise forevermore. As you roll across the threshold, spanning Jordan's swelling tide, you behold the Union Depot, into which your train will glide. There you'll meet the superintendent, God the Father and God the Son, with a hearty, joyous welcome. Weary pilgrim, welcome home. Blessed Savior, thou wilt guide us till we reach that blissful shore, where the angels, they wait to join us in thy praise forevermore. See you next time. God bless you, and I love you.